Okay, yeah, let us begin with the continuation note of EXIM trade activities into the fifth module of international business. So, with the export trade, we begin, and we have completed a few of the topics here, where export activity is almost like a trading activity with other country through exporting, is the selling of your goods and services to other countries. Okay, and it has got its own pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages we have discussed. And let us have a discussion about procedure. See, basically, with respect to the procedure point of view, we need to follow these amount of certain amount of activities. One thing is about registration of your company as a exporter or importer that has to be listed. So when you want to make a list of yourself with this particular as an exporter or importer, then you will get a license to make any kind of export activities in any of the countries. Okay, and also a certain moment of time, uh, some of the countries they do follow certain activities as such like your export activity or import activity will be restricted to so and so amount of countries only. Okay, so your export license consists of those details where and all you can able to export. Okay, so second thing is about negotiate terms of sale. Sir, what exactly this negotiation means? Is it mean by any kind of contract? Yes, 100% sure. There should be a contract between your company, one who is ready to sell, as well the buyer company, okay, who is ready to buy from other country about your products and services. That negotiable terms supposed to be clearly mentioned. Third point is about export formalities. So, do we need to have any kind of formalities as such like a documentation with the government apart from this license also? The first point is registration, what we have discussed. Apart from that also, do we need to have other formalities? That's a question. And answer is yes. So where we need to follow certain amount of activities as such like probably with respect to that gate one process, gate two process. Let me discuss that into the documentation work. Okay. So where we need to have n number of documents are associated here with respect to sales proceeds, where you need to understand your responsibility that you need to fill it up all the documentation and submit it to the authorities pertaining to that particular documentation task. Okay, so until unless you submit your documentation, probably this particular moment of goods and services will never get happen. That shipment itself is not going to get happen. That's a third procedure. What we need to understand, it is quite essential. Okay, and the fourth point is about Incoterms and documentation. So, what exactly these Incoterms are? International commercial terms. So, whether it gets differ from country to country, yes, 100% sure it gets differ from country to country. Where probably whatever the Incoterms we do have in our country may not be same with our neighbor countries, even Asian countries. Okay, it's not as mandatory. Need to have the same Incoterms. Okay, so you need to have that particular ideological approach with respect to that particular country to whom you are exporting. Okay, and what and all the Incoterms they need to follow, and what you need to fill it up in your documentation. That is most essential. By mistake, in case if you are going to put it one of the Incoterms which is pertaining to some other country and which means some other thing in so and so country, absolutely miscommunication may leads to a huge amount of damage in your export activities. Okay, so maybe I can go for mentioning as such like for that importing of groceries. Okay, so probably I may go for calling that as a groceries. GRO is my Incoterm for that particular groceries what I'm trying to buy. Okay, but some other countries which will be having the particular aspects as such like the seeds. Okay, because it gets differ from one particular country to another country where that grocery is being called as a seeds in by some other country. So where absolutely yes, double ED is the Incoterm pertaining to that country. So what exactly is the difference here? Basically, it means same, but that quotation what you have made a Incoterm in the sense international commercial term, that is absolutely different, correct? So by chance this groceries, what it has been mentioned GRO as an Incoterm, that particular country, if you are mentioning S double E over there, they may go for thinking as such like a C export. Okay, so it makes a huge difference. Where is groceries and where exactly the C products, correct? So we need to understand while maintaining that documentation what exactly we are writing it up in the Incoterms. That's most important. And the fifth point is about complete your customs formalities. So do we have any kind of customs duties even with respect to the concern of taxation system? Yes, 100% sure. Okay, so maybe in case if you start looking after into agriculture products, yes, of course, somewhere we are relieved from some of the customs duties. Okay, but at the same amount of time, apart from agriculture, or maybe I can go for taking into the consideration of aluminium. We are the exporters of aluminium also, we Indians. Okay, we are the exporters of steel also. Okay, so we are the exporters of iron also. So 100% sure. Maybe in case if you are looking forward into these kind of things, where the customs duties, taxes, tariffs need to be paid, you have to maintain that documentation. Okay, those paid receipts also you need to keep it filed properly. Then only you can able to make you can able to complete your export activities. Okay, so that is most important aspect. And even with respect to the concern of a sixth point of submitting all those documents to bank. Sir, why do we need to make the documentation supposed to be submitted to bank? What is exactly interlinked here? Truly speaking, when you are going to receive the advance, that should be received to your bank account. Then only it is to be called as a legal transaction. Okay, so when you are going to receive any kind of amount from your client, that has to be received through that particular bank account only. And also whenever to make the payment of the tariffs, maybe certain amount of time when you are going to maintain a documentation in that account number what you're going to mention, every account number should be one single account number that has to get dealt. And whatever the taxes you are making the payment, commercial tax, what you are making the payment, everything should be from that particular single account only. Okay, so that is how the bank is involved in your transaction activities. Okay, and the transmission of that buyer, one who is going to transmit that particular accounting transactions with respect to that payment of advance, even with respect to the concern of paying the complete amount, everything should be dealt with that particular bank account only. So you're not supposed to get involved with multiple bank accounts. Okay, only one bank account and only that particular transaction. You understand the theme clearly. Then about seventh point is about to receive the sales proceeds. Sir, what exactly is receiving the sales proceeds? Is that a last procedure? Yes, very much sure. Okay, once you're going to complete your transmit of the buyer's transaction, then you are going to receive that sales proceeds. So once you're going to receive that sales proceed with the documentation, you need to make the payment of commercial tax. So commercial tax is approximately about that GST, what we know very much exactly about that particular quota which has been restricted for that layer. Maybe commodities get differ. Okay, even GST perspective also, commodities are going to get mentioned with respect to different slabs of GST, 15%, 18%, correct? So you need to make the payment of that GST payment once the sales proceeds are going to get over. Okay, I hope now you people have got a clarity over the procedure, how exactly you are going to move towards export activities. That is quite interesting aspect. So let us have a discussion about steps and documentation. So what exactly the steps we need to follow when we are going to do any kind of documentation work? The first thing is about IEC number. So importer exporter code supposed to be given to your company, okay, not to the individual person, it is to the company. Okay, so one company will be having one particular code as such, like a GST number will be there. Even this IEC number also will be given. Okay, so second thing is about a membership or registration with the government. So what exactly this membership or registration with the government? After getting this IEC number also, do I need to register myself with any of the government authorities, any government bodies? Yes, some of the moment of time it is mandatory. In case assume that mineral resources you need to export. Okay, so it is very much sure that government of India is expecting your registration should be there with that mining authorities. Even though you do have that IEC number, importer exporter number, okay, in spite of that also you need to register yourself with government bodies. That mining authority is there. Okay, so Khanij, Bhavan, so they will be having that particular mines department where you need to go and register over there personally. And the third point is about inquiry and offer for sale. See, basically, you need to have that particular inquiry documentation with you. So that inquiry, who has made that inquiry, from which country they have made that. Okay, so probably a certain amount of countries which will not be there in the list with India, where when they are going to make this kind of agreement between the countries. Okay, so maybe you can go for having a certain amount of clarity over this particular point of view, where last meet of US government officials with India. Okay, so during that particular time, they have made a mutual contract between them. Okay, so as like that, the countries will be having their mutual contract between the countries. Okay, that should be open by the government. Now you're understanding the reality here. Okay, so that should be opened by the government, then only you can get avail for making the sales activities with that particular country. Otherwise, if it is not been open, then it is understood as like it is closed. You're not supposed to make any kind of export activity with that country. Okay, so offer for sale. So inquiry I understood, but what exactly this offer for sale? See, offer for sale in the sense of whether we as a company we supposed to give this offer for sale. Very much sure. Okay, so for this inquiry and offer for the sale, you are the held responsible, where your company should go through with the documentation, whatever the gazette documentation they are going to announce it, maybe once in 3 months, once in 6 months, probably once in a year. That get differ from commodities to commodities. Okay, so your commodity you need to undergo, you need to make understanding of that list. Certain amount of time will come where probably currently with the situation at present, maybe flowers export is availed during maybe before March 22nd, what I'm discussing. Okay, from December to March, all the groceries export is being restricted by government of India. Sir, what happened exactly? During the time of December, this COVID-19 is being initiated, correct? So they need to make a stock of that much of groceries in case of emergency. Currently, yesterday, what Prime Minister Modi has said that 9 month stock is available with us. So how it is possible? 9 month stock. Is that a restricted market? No. Government is having all the complete authorities to restrict any kind of export activities at any moment of time. Okay. So groceries export, even that particular seeds export, everything is being restricted by Government of India by the month of December itself. Now you're understanding the reality. Okay. Till March 22nd, whatever the export activities being happened, that's only concerned with the flowers into the agriculture aspects what I'm discussing. Okay, so whichever the particular particles are perishable, those particular work, those particular farm land work only is availed for exporting activity. That's been open for exporting activity. Does it mean that other agriculture products are closed? Yes. If it is not been open, it is clearly a hint that it is being closed. Now you understood the reality. Inquiry and offer for sale. What is exactly the responsibility of you as a company? Okay. Even fourth point is about confirmation of order. Yes, you need to give a confirmation of order either through mail, maybe any of the correspondence letters that need to be maintained. Even that export license. Sir, I do have a IEC number. Is that sufficient? No. Export license. So for that particular export activity, you need to get it once again from government. In case if it is a special, in case if it is your routine business, there is no special license required. Okay, sir, what kind of activity this is? So maybe you may go for taking the consideration as such, like now I'm exporting some of the products which are relating to medicines, assumption. Okay, so very much sure that a new medicine is being identified and I'm ready to export that particular medicine to some other country, then which is not there in the list what I have taken the IEC number, but I do have IEC, import and exporter code is there with me, but when I have taken this IEC, that particular medicine is not been mentioned, then you need to take extra export license for that. Now you are understanding the differences here. Okay, so even about the finance part, truly speaking, one bank account and you need to maintain that bank account only from beginning to till end of that particular export activity. You may have multiple bank accounts for maintaining a different amount of taxation systems. Okay, but when you are going to have one bank account with respect to the concern of maintaining the activities of that export, from beginning to till end, one particular bank account only need to get maintained with the finance also. Okay, so the next point is about production or procurement of goods. So do we need to have any kind of production and procurement by that moment of nth moment of that export activity? Yes, you need to showcase that what exactly this particular product is relating to and the procurement when you are going to make this particular possible. Okay, see, assumption is such like you have made a contract in the year 2019 June month for supplying some 1 trillion quintal of rice to any one of the country, assumption. Okay, and that has to be uh, handed over to that particular country person during the time of April month. Okay, so currently we are there in the April month, where this is the right time where, as according to your contract, 1 trillion metric ton of that particular export activity, is that valid currently? Sir, it is not valid now. Why? Because that procurement we cannot able to execute that. We are there in the need of that much of huge amount of rice to be required for our country people only, because we are there in the national emergency at present. Okay, so we cannot able to run with respect to this kind of mode of approach. Now you have got the clarity over that particular point. Even shipping space. Okay, so try to have a proper amount of steps documentation with respect to that. Shipping space supposed to be blocked. Sir, what is this blocking that particular shipping space? See, shipping space, we do have ships, even about air cargo also is available with us for exporting activities. Okay, so when you are trying to make this kind of shipping space avail, try to ensure that you are going to register this particular activity with the government as well as that shipping cargo company. Okay, that mutual contract has to get happened, then only you can able to move further, then only you can able to get that much of space for that particular moment of time. Otherwise you will be there in the waiting list, and on one of the other day you will get that particular opportunity to export. Okay, so packing and marketing activities. So do we need to follow any kind of packaging, any kind of restrictions are there? Yes, very much sure. Okay, as I have discussed with you people that when you are going to make any kind of confirmation of order, ensure that that kind of packaging facility is available with you, because some of the countries where they will not agree for plastic, even though it's an amount of packaging aspect. Okay, packaging in the sense which is going to protect exact that raw material, that is to be called as packaging. Okay, packing in the sense that a complete packaged material supposed to be protected. That is maybe that cargo, whatever you are going to maintain the containers, those are going to be called as packing. Okay, I'm talking about packaging. Packaging in the sense that particular inner material supposed to get protected. That should be called as packaging. Okay, some of the countries they reject immediately in case if you are going to use the packaging with the plastic. Sir, why? That is their hygienic mode of approach where they have created their rules and regulations. That has to be understood by you. When you are going to give a confirmation about the order for this packaging aspect or this packing marketing, then you have to ensure that this product is eligible, acceptable by that country, one who is receiving this particular product. That has to be ensured by yourself mandatorily. Okay, so quality control and pre-shipment inspection. So do I need to maintain any kind of quality control here with respect to that pre-shipment activities? Yes, it is mandatory. That point only I was about to discuss in the next slide, where we need to maintain that particular quality control activities. Okay, so that quality, whatever we have mentioned in the confirmation of that order, that quality is supposed to be maintained. Otherwise, immediately in your production place itself, your products will be rejected. Now you got that particular point. This is to be called as gate pass 1. Okay, and gate pass 2 in the sense excise clearance. See, excise clearance where you need to maintain this particular excise clearance activities. So you need to have the maintenance of that records, whatever you have made that tariff payment, then quota restrictions, is it being maintained, whether you have got a label seal that you have maintained this particular quota restrictions, whether you have paid the tariffs to your home country as well as certain amount of time host country, then shipping bills, every list of all those things has to be maintained, then only excise clearance will take place. That is to be called as gate pass 2. Okay, now you have got the point here, gate pass 1 and gate pass 2, which is not there in our syllabus, but these two are the main things. Gate pass 1 is quality control in your restricted area, in your production area. They are going to do the cross check before it is going to meet that exporting activity of the packaging. Okay, that is quality control. Gate pass 1. Gate pass 2 in the sense all your tariffs, shipping bills, everything, whatever you're going to maintain, that documentation seal will be given by that particular government authorities, that everything is clear. Then it is to be called as gate pass 2. Okay, so we have cleared with respect to the